Good morning, everyone. It is a bright, shining morning. It is starting to warm up just little by little, melting all of our snow, and it is slowly becoming more and more like spring. I'm super excited for the spring, especially since we are starting our missions big month here with some amazing time that we're going to be doing making blankets for a group called Project Ignite Light. If you would like some more information on that, let me know. I'll get you some more information. There'll be a lot more coming out to parents this week. And with that, there's something else I'm super excited about, and that's continuing to dive into crucial conversations with you guys. I really have enjoyed being able to share this. I know not everybody's been able to watch, but to be able to slowly understand more about how to work in conversations. And last week we got about halfway through a chapter before we kind of came to a halt. There was a lot to unpack in that last chapter. We were talking about safety, and we were finally really going from, okay, this is the theory of what is a crucial conversation, what is the very basics of this, why do people always feel like they have to either fight against and be aggressive or run away and reserve themselves when they come to tough topics. But we're going to continue with what we talked about last week, which is safety. And that is the first part of making a good conversation, is understanding when safety is being broken and how we can replace it. And the two problems with safety, the two ways we feel unsafe, is one, if we don't feel like we can have a mutual purpose, we can have a mutual understanding of how to move forward with a person. Like if we look at it and we're like, we will never be able to come to a mutual path forward, we'll never be able to go forward together, then we won't be able to go forward together. And then the other thing that can cause us to feel unsafe is when we feel disrespected, when we don't feel like the other person will even listen to what we have to say. And those two things, every single conversation comes down to one of those two things being the reason why it doesn't work well, is that safety is broken in one of those two ways. Either the person doesn't feel like they can have a mutual purpose, or they feel like they're disrespected and the person's not going to listen to them anyway. Today, I'm going to jump a little further into this and talk about how we can fix that safety when we notice that it is gone. When we notice that person start to become aggressive or start to get reserved, what can we do to replace the safety that was broken? And last week we talked about a very specific scenario of a girl and a mom. And the mom came home and made dinner for her and her daughter. It's just the two of them, and calls her daughter down like, hey, I made us dinner. And the daughter is all dressed up to go out with their friends. And she, Mom, I already told you I'm going out with my friends. And at that very moment, they have a crucial conversation. They both want different things. Both of their emotions are high because of the fact that there is a difference there. There is this solid, like, the mom really wants to have this dinner with her daughter. The daughter really wants to go out with their friends. There is this clashing here of these two. And this can go very badly, very quickly, if safety is broken. And let's just assume it is. Let's assume for the moment that the daughter lashed out at her mom and claiming that you're never here, you're always at work. Why would you expect me to be at dinner tonight? Now, I personally feel that the mom has every right to say, hey, I made dinner, we're going to sit down, we're going to have dinner. But that is not going to fix the conversation they're having. Even though she has the right to do it, it's not necessarily the best thing to do in that moment. And this is how the book shows that we can fix these things, okay? The safety. The first thing you have to do is, your emotions are high too. So you need to take a step out for a second, whether that's physically or just take a step out of the conversation in your mind. Okay, take a step back and look at everything that's going on. And that's hard to do because your emotions are high. But if you don't take that step back, you won't be able to move on with the other steps because your mind will be blinded by the fact that you are now fighting for your purpose and not a group one. You can't think about everyone's purpose and what they want because all you can think about is yours. And your mind will immediately go will be stuck in this cycle of feeling disrespect, even if it's not there. At the moment, it is. Like, she was very much disrespected. But does that have to stop the conversation from moving into a good place? No. Now, after you step out, there's kind of a three-step thing here. And the first is not always necessary. In this case, if the daughter's the one who stepped out, I think this is necessary. So if the daughter came in and she lashed out and she takes a step back in her mind, she calms down and she goes, you know what? We need to find a good way to end this conversation. And comes back in and, number one, apologize when appropriate. I don't think the mom in this instance where we're going needs to apologize, but the daughter, if she's the one who's going to fix this conversation, needs to come in and apologize and say, Mom, I lashed out at you. I shouldn't have. I raised my voice. I'm sorry. That's the first part, because that right there, that fixed the disrespect, and that puts them in a mood to be like, okay, where are we going to go from here? Instead of, okay, I have to win my point, or I have to get out of here. It switches it to this, okay, something's moved a little bit here. What can we do from here? And that's where it goes to the second part. And there's this statement that you need to go in and make. And that is a contrasting to fixed misunderstanding, because there is a story behind what each person is thinking and what each person wants. The daughter wants to go out with her friends for a reason. The mom wants the daughter to stay home for a reason. So if the daughter is coming back in and saying, Mom, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to raise my voice at you. I don't want to miss dinner with you and time with you, but what I do want is to be able to spend some time with my friends that I had designated off to the side. They need me today. Hey, that changed a lot right there. If the mom's coming back in, again, I don't think she needs to apologize, but if she comes back in and says, honey, like, I understand that you want to go out with your friends and it's fun and it's great, but I really don't always have the time to spend dinner with you, and I really wanted to today, and I made sure that I went out of my way to make us a special meal so that we could just be the two of us tonight. Again, changes the atmosphere immediately. There's this don't and this do. What didn't I want to happen? What did I want to happen? Clarifying what you wanted in this conversation. It's not that the mom just is like set on, you're going to have dinner, that's it. Because that's not the right, like, that makes the daughter have dinner, but that does not change the attitude or the conversation or the atmosphere that is going on right now. What changes the atmosphere is explaining why she wants her to be there and what she didn't want to happen due to this conversation. And finally, the last part, as you move from apologizing if it's necessary, contrasting to fix any misunderstanding that's there, is to take and create that mutual purpose, create that mutual thing that you want to do together. Okay? So in this kind of case, it's, okay, you have to do a few things again. It's not a simple, okay, here we go, done. There's steps to this. And the first thing you have to do is you have to commit to finding a mutual purpose, not winning your purpose, not winning exactly what you want, but creating something that works for everybody. Second thing is that you have to invent. You have to create a mutual purpose of, okay, so if I want this, she wants this. How do we both get what we want, even if it's not at this exact moment? How can my daughter be with her friends and we still have time together, even if it's not at this exact moment? And finally, you need to brainstorm, to work together to create scenarios that would ensure that both parties' purpose is met. In this instance, if the daughter's coming back in and she apologizes and she explains that she really didn't want to hurt her mom's feelings, she really enjoys having dinner with her, but what she did was she just wanted to be able to be out with her friends because her friends need her. If she comes in and says, hey, you know, what if we did find a spot that the two of us could hang out? And I know I really need to, my friends, and I plan this in advance, but I know that you're busy, but I saw that you had this day off. What if we had dinner together that night and we can cook the meal together and kind of invent this purpose of, okay, now we're working together to create this. She's understanding that her mom is trying to take that time out to be with her, but at the same time she's sharing with her that, like, it's just the timing is what is the problem for me. I want to be with you, it's just the timing at this exact moment. Again, with the mom, if she's coming in and says, honey, I understand that you had your friends and everything. Well, why don't you guys together eat with us tonight before you guys go out, and then we can have dinner, just the two of us, at some point, and talk about the schedule. And not only that, but there was a problem at the very, very base of this that'll come up if they don't talk about it again. And that's where they also need to find a mutual purpose to be able to look at this. Okay, what was the root of this issue? And that was that the mom works a lot, and there wasn't the communication between the mom and the daughter about when she was off to be able to have that family time. And if the daughter or the mom at the very end comes up with, like, okay, how can we be able to communicate better about when we do want to have this family time? How can we communicate better about what we want to do? Because it might not always be that we want to eat together. It might be that we want to go bowling. It might be that we want to go for a walk. And this very much changes this conversation, even if there is a solution of the mom saying, you have to stay here, or the daughter just walking out of the house to go be with their friends. That ends the conversation, but that doesn't fix the atmosphere and the relationship between them. It's not easy, but if you put in the work, everything ends up well. And the biggest part of it is to remember, again, with that safety of the fact that you might not feel safe and you might feel disrespected, but the other person probably is too. And that's why there's that issue. And when you can take a step back and see that you both are in this conversation and you both don't feel safe, it's a little easier to be able to work around stuff. I was really happy to be able to share that with you guys. We're actually going to be talking about the stories that we tell ourselves when we get to these conversations next week. And it'll be an interesting topic. I look forward to this Wednesday, continue to talk about Moses and starting to work on our tie blankets. Thank you guys for everything you do. Peace out.